Hey, we're back. Sorting paperwork. We're here on the Patrick Rickens Show on the Libertarian Lighthouse Radio Network and News Talk 98.7 WOKI. Oh, I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do this last segment. I do want to get to this, and it's kind of a personal thing. Right here at the end of the show, this is the last show of 2013, and I wanted to take a minute to thank all you listeners out there for your just incredible, loyal, and undying support. I am absolutely amazed and, well, humbled by the strides this radio show has made this year. And it's all due to you. Sure, I sit here and talk, but without you listening, it wouldn't matter. For all you new listeners who don't know, we weren't always on this radio station. And when we came over to this one back in the spring, we had, right around 100 people following us on Facebook. That's probably about right for a little 1-hour show only being broadcast on Saturday afternoons. But since May of this year, when we came over, we've gone from that initial 100 or so to almost 19,500 people. 19,500. And at the rate this radio show is growing, we'll be over 20,000 before the end of this week or the end of this next week. And we're still a 1-hour show being broadcast on Saturday afternoons on an 8,000-watt radio station. I mentioned this piece of trivia last week. To put that in perspective, they are 24-hour-a-day popular music radio stations running 100,000 watts who only have 2,000 or so followers. And we have popular talk show hosts that run 3 hours a day, 5 days a week who aren't pulling over 1,800. And this show has over 10 times that number. And we've been on for less time and only once a week. Can you imagine what's going to happen in 2014? We're currently working to get this show on as many radio stations as we can nationwide. And not to make tons of money. That'd be nice, but that's not why I started this show. I started this show because this message of freedom and liberty for every human being wasn't being explained. It wasn't being talked about. Oh, sure, it was mentioned from time to time in passing, but no radio or television show host made this a central point of the show, not like we do here. I think a lot of Americans are becoming tired of being used by the political process that is dominated by people who don't have our best interests at heart. They are in it to get as much for themselves and their friends as they can. And I think a lot of people are getting tired of that. Tired of having their tax money going to pay for someone else's good time, whether it be the people in Congress or the bureaucrats in government or our fellow citizens who demand a portion of our hard-earned money. People are tired of being forced to pay the way for someone else. They're tired of having our soldiers deployed around the world. They're tired of our government murdering innocent people in other countries. They want what we used to represent, a nation governed by the people with freedom and liberty for all. Not just Americans, but anyone who wants to come to this country and experience the American dream. And that's what this show is working towards. An America where once again the oppressed people of the world can look to for an example of freedom from tyranny and governmental control, a goal after which to model their country, or a personal goal to arrive at our shores and experience firsthand their first breaths of personal freedom and liberty. That's where we need to return our country. It isn't going to happen, though, if all you do is listen to this show. You're going to have to take an active role in taking our country back from those who are seeking either to ruin it or drain it of all of our resources in order to enrich themselves at the expense of the people. So together in 2014, which is a big election year, we're going to have to work harder than ever before to educate and persuade our friends, our neighbors, our co-workers, everyone. We're going to have to work to get them educated and to the polls. And that's just half the battle, though. The other half is running good candidates for office. It doesn't matter if we have all the votes in the world if we don't have anyone for which to vote. It isn't that hard to run for office, and with a good support group, it's even easier. But it does take a little initiative on your part in convincing yourself or one of your friends or neighbors to run. As I've said many times on this show, you know someone who would make an excellent candidate for office. It might even be you. The only thing left to do is to get them to run. And if they're a freedom and liberty-loving person, let me know. I'll put them on the show. I'll give them the whole hour if that's what it takes. The point is, in 2014, get active in helping to run this country. The people who want to take it from you are already active. They're already making plans on how to push it further out of your reach. The longer you wait, the worse it's going to get, and the harder it will be to take our country back. We're out of time this week. If you want more information about us, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Patrick Riggin Show. Facebook.com/Patrick Riggin Show. Also, you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Patrick Riggin Show. That's where all the archive shows are. And you can also email us, patrickriggenshow@gmail.com, or drop us a Carter letter to WOKI here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Remember, liberty begins with you in your mind. Happy New Year to everyone. And as always, join me next Saturday afternoon at 4, where we'll be fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. Again, Happy New Year. Thanks for listening, and have a great week.
As a dreamer dreams and a trap.
Red Dove. Join us again next week for a solid dose of truth on the Patrick Riggin Show. Be there.